Hello, my Forex family. This is Sydney Guajardo coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas. And we are the Trading Places. Okay, so let's get started. Let's look for some trades here. So once again, I want to go over, all my students should have investing.com downloaded. Go to portfolio, technical summary, Forex overview. And the reason there's 18 pairs in here is because I loaded them. So I don't think you get any, and then you just preload them on there and it comes up. So anyway, so the only time you want to buy is when everything agrees. Not so much here, the 5 to 15 minute, but the 5 hour and the daily. So just kind of divide this in half and take everything on this side. So pound dollar. This doesn't mean that you're going to get in it. It's going to go long. I mean, it's supposed to, and it happens. But you just have to, first of all, pick the right entrance, and second of all, you have to. I mean, retracement is still a thing. News is still a thing. Things happen. So you just have to make the right call. So it just go through here, and I've got two picked out: pound dollar and pound Swiss franc. Right there, strong buy, strong buy. So that's the first thing. Next thing is for look at the news. There's no news until 2 o'clock tonight, and it's the euro. So I don't even know what any of this stuff means. All I do is just pay attention to it. Trade after the news. Sometimes it affects the currency, and sometimes it doesn't. So but you never want to be in a trade when the news is happening. So this is right for the euro session, the London session, and right around that time. So you still have, 10 hours? Let me see. When does the London session start? I should know it by memory, right? Anyway, it opens in am I going crazy here? I'm looking at Sydney. That's Australia. Same accent. It opens up in about 8 hours. So Sydney's about to... Oh, did it already open? Sydney? Mm-hmm. Sure did. So 7 o'clock is a pretty good time to start on that one. Sydney, Australia. Anyway, maybe that's why there's some volume. All right, let's go look at the trades. Let's look at euro dollar. We already know trend. It's it's going up. It kind of retraced here. It looks like it's going back again. So let's find out where we are. We're right here. Right? Find out where it's been. Right here. And then you have your zero line where we left off, right there. It's a red candle. And usually it's right on a support line. That's just the way it works out. But it's a pretty good support and resistance line. So it could either break support resistance, and it hasn't yet. And if it does, sometimes it will go short. That's what this means when you take it short, right? But it could bounce and go long. But when do you take it long? And that's the thing. We don't know when to take it. So all I know is, let me see, do we have anything that has bounced and come back? Not in this situation here. So look for it to, it's hard to tell. We just need to wait for volume on this one. I'm thinking it's going to go short. Who knows? Let's go to dollar yen. But this is just price action. This is something I brought up here. This right here, when you see this, it's usually on a 240 minute chart. When you see this up candle and it's followed up by a down candle, this down candle usually makes a low here, and it comes back to mitigate these two candles here, And it usually happens anywhere between the 71 and the 88, and it did. And when it does that, it falls, just like this. And this is a liquidity candle, and that's how you find these trades. And so what you do is you look for the up, and then you look for the down, and that's when you start to look. When it creates this low here, that's when you put your Fibonacci on it, and you look for that. So it worked. It turned out to be like 50 pips, so it was a pretty good trade for me. I did that this morning, but it didn't. It's not. So from here, it can do whatever it wants. What's it probably going to do is probably bounce and go long again. So that's a pretty good indicator that it's going to go long. But I left this up here and sent it to one of my colleagues. But it says this up candle is a banker's candle. It could also be a down candle followed by an up candle. Anyway, when the opposite happens as well, look for it to create a new high or new low. It'd be a new high or a new low. Then it must come back to mitigate to at least 71 to 88% of the banker's candle, and then fall. It mainly is found on the 240 time frame. But I did this little candle, I did this little arrow to show you your entrance. So it could between anywhere from here and here. And it usually will leave a wick, very similar to that. Most of them do. But it's got to be a really strong up and then a really strong down. This is not the same thing. Okay, let's go to Euro Yen. So here we are. And didn't stick. So let's find out where we are here. We're right here. Looks like we're right on a resistance line. And it looks like it's going to break and go long. This is where I would look for this trade to go, as long. It doesn't look like a long way, but there's some pips there to be made. Geez, it's by 100 pips. So look for that one to move, to, even though, and it could go short, and this is definitely in a downward trend. I mean, it has been for the last 15 hours. So it could, I mean, this is a pretty good resistance line. It could do that, but I think there's enough strength for it to push forward. So just watch that one. Aussie dollar, US dollar. You have a uptrend here. It looks like a banker's candle, but it's not. It still has a little bit before it hits this resistance line, but I think it's going to go true and go long. Pound dollar. Investment.com says it's going to go long. Here's one thing that volume does not know what's in the way. So if you look at this and go to the 240, you do have some room. So this thing is very possible that it could go long, but let's call it long. That's what investing.com said. It's going to go long. And this is definitely something overnight. You still have a little bit of room to get here. But it's probably, oh, you know what? This is a double top. If this thing comes down to about here, which is probably like the baseline of the neck, somewhere in this area, it's going to go short for a long way. So just be aware of that. Beware that this could be, is what they call a double top. If you go to YouTube and look up double top Forex, it'll show you the pattern. I could be wrong, but this is really close to the neckline right here. Between here and here, and then it'll fall. Let's go to dollar Swiss. Look at this beautiful thing right here. So this could be, I don't know, these bankers candles, I don't know what the recipe is. If it has a long or a short and then a long, the body of the candle is equal to it. I'm gonna have to do some research, but this is more or less what a banker's candle looks like. and it should, well, it's kind of dropping here. Let's look to take this short. I mean, it's already on a downward trend here, but I think it could go short. Just be aware that this could be the bottom of something. But let me see here. This would be a pretty good short call, especially since it's going down. You have this big emotional candle. This is a beautiful thing. When this happens this way, it normally goes up and gets right back to it. So this could have the opportunity to get right back up here. This is just a liquidity candle, and it clears everybody out and all of their profit. So just be aware of that. All these little things that you just have to watch out for. Pound Swiss. So I kind of drew this up, and it looks like it's a banker's candle. Where is the banker's candle? This is definitely not a banker's candle, but I wonder why I put that there. Maybe it looks different on the 240. See, that looks more like it right here. So it still has a way to go. That's where I'm saying it looks, you look for them on the 240. But this is a banker's candle. It came down, it created well, it didn't really create a low until here. But this is the low here. It should come back up here and come to the kill zone and drop. So let's see if that stays true. Okay. Aussie dollar yen. So here's the low. And here's where we left off. It did break it and come back down. We're on a pretty good resistance line here. It's got some real estate, but you also have an uptrend right there, not a line. You got an uptrend right here. So I'm going to call this long here. So let's take this long overnight. It's hard to predict because there's only 2 trades to look at that have any type of meat on them. So let's go to CAD yen. This is on the bottom. The only way you can call this is any kind of decision is whatever's down must come up, right? So I'm going to call that. It did go up like I said it would. So I'm going to continue with that trend. Swiss yen. This one is just consolidating. I wouldn't even trade that at all. I wouldn't take this as a trade. Euro Aussie dollar. It looks like it's going to bounce and go north. That's my gut feeling. Forex has a mind of its own, and I think it's going to go north. So let's try that. We've gone through half the trades I look at. Not really a lot here. Use your indicators on these to at least get a good entrance. But Forex is just not there right now. The volume's low, waiting for news to come out. So be very careful and tread lightly. There's not a lot of volume in the market. There's only two trades to look at. So just be careful when you're out there. Time is money and money's time. So today I took 2 trades, made $1,000, put 1% on the account. So I was very fortunate. But anyway, from San Antonio, Texas, and the trading places, my name is Sidney Guajardo. And I thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.